Severnvale United's second season as a club was definitely one to remember. While we didn't win a single trophy this season, I think we got something much better than a piece of silverware. We clawed our way all the way from 16th place to finish second in the League One table, which sees us get automatically promoted to the championship alongside league winners Cardiff City. We finished the season on 82 points, 1 point ahead of Stoke City and Wigan Athletic. If we didn't win that last game of the season, we would have had to fight for our spot in the championship due to playoffs. And considering the teams in the playoff spots, I think that would have been a struggle as we failed to beat Bolton just recently. Fortunately, we will be avoiding the playoffs altogether, and our focus is now going to be on preparing for the championship next season. We had a much better run in the Carabao Cup this season as we beat Charlton Athletic 4-0 in the first round. We then went on to beat Barrow 2-1 in the second round, and then we had one of our most exciting moments of the entire series in the third round where we beat Aston Villa 9-8 on penalties. What a game, what a penalty shootout that was. We then went on to beat Fulham 3-0, and unfortunately, our Carabao Cup run came to an end in the quarterfinals where we were beaten by Norwich City. Manchester City made it to the final of the Carabao Cup where they lost to Liverpool, who beat us last year in the FA Cup. Our FA Cup journey got off to a great start as we beat Notts County 2-1 in the second round. Unfortunately, we drew Man City in just the third round of the tournament and we lost to them 4-3, a very narrow loss. On another day, we could have definitely won that game. And this year's FA Cup winners were Liverpool, where they beat their rivals Manchester United in a 2-1 derby. And as for the BSM trophy, we had an amazing campaign as we finished top of our group. Moving on to round 2, we beat Colchester 2-1, and in round 3, we beat Oxford United 2-1. But unfortunately, we came up against our league rivals and the eventual winners of the tournament in Wrexham, where they beat us 6-5 on penalties. Wrexham eventually went on to win the BSM trophy against Stoke City in a 3-2 showdown. As for the Super Cup, Lazio beat Lille, Barcelona beat Real Madrid in an El Clasico derby in the Champions League, Aston Villa beat Frankfurt in the Europa League, and AS Roma beat RB Salzburg in the UEFA Conference League. Elsewhere around the world, Manchester City finished top of the Premier League, and Leicester City, Burnley, and Ipswich were relegated to the Championship. We will be seeing all three of those teams next season. As for the teams getting promoted to the Premier League, AFC Bournemouth and Leeds United are making their returns. PSG won Ligue 1 by 1 point, Bayern went undefeated in the Bundesliga, and Milan won the Serie A by 6 points. And not only did Barcelona win the Champions League over Real Madrid, they also won La Liga, finishing 5 points over Real Madrid. We've got a long offseason ahead of us. The players are itching to get back to work on the training ground in preparation for our first season in the championship. But before we get to that, we've got some awards to hand out. Welcome to the second annual end of season award show, aka the Cavvys. This truly was a season to remember. There was drama, low lows, and some very high highs. There were tons of surprises, and I'm looking forward to introducing the winners of each category. The awards up for grabs are Rookie of the Year, Defender of the Year, Playmaker of the Year, Attacker of the Year, and Clutch Player of the Year. As fans of the series, you'll be able to vote for player and goal of the season via the poll on my channel page. Now, without further ado, let's get into the awards. First up is Rookie of the Year. This award is reserved for players making their debuts from the academy. We had 5 academy graduates this season. The nominees for Rookie of the Year are Luke Cox, our American left back, Romain Janine, our Haitian right back, Kirk Ferguson, our Scottish left back, and Tomoya Sakubara, our Japanese winger. And Rookie of the Year goes to Luke Cox. The left back had 3 assists this season, 5 clean sheets, and an average match rating of 67 in 30 games this season. What a year he had. He's been attracting interest from big clubs all over the world, and we're going to have to fight hard to keep him at the club for next season. Next up, we've got Defender of the Year. Previously, this award was reserved for the player with the most clean sheets, but this year I'm making it a little bit more subjective. Clean sheets of course are important, but I'm taking into account overall defensive ability here. And the nominees for this award are Benjamin Lindsay, our Scottish captain, Luka Balaver, our young Croatian center back who had an injury-riddled season but performed well when he came back, Luke Cox, our American wonder kid at left back who pitched in with a decent amount of assists and clean sheets this season, and Fernando Montero, our January signing who picked up 3 clean sheets in just 15 games and a 70 match rating. All of that was put into consideration, but the winner of the award is going to be our captain, Benjamin Lindsay. He finished the season with 3 assists, 6 clean sheets, and a match rating of 68. Give it up for Ben Lindsay. Our next award is Playmaker of the Year. This award is reserved for the player in our team who really pulled the strings and created the most chances for our team as a whole. Previously, this was reserved for the player who picked up the most assists, but like the other awards, I'm being a little bit more subjective when it comes to the criteria. Our first nominee is Luis Adame, our new starting center attacking midfielder. He pitched in with 6 assists and 8 goals this season and finished the season with a 70 overall match rating. Our next nominee is Jackson Wagner, who had a really improved season from last year. He had 6 goals, 8 assists, and a 69 average match rating. Next up, we've got our breakout star for the season, Maxim Kaczynski, the Ukrainian center midfielder. In only 21 games, he picked up 8 goal involvements with 3 goals and 5 assists and an average match rating of 66. And last but definitely not least, Sean Meyer, the first striker to become a nominee for this award. Sean Meyer picked up 10 assists in the league with an average rating of 73, tying him for number 1 with Hector Limon and Benji Van Dijk. This award was a tough one to hand out, but the voting committee eventually settled on this player. The winner of Playmaker of the Year is going to our German striker, Sean Super Sub Meyer. Give it up for Sean. What a season he had. Our next award is Attacker of the Year. This award is reserved strictly for the best attacker in our team. Goals, assists, overall play, all of that was put into consideration. And starting with Ruben Phillips, our starting right wing from the academy, he picked up 13 goal involvements with 9 goals and 4 assists with an overall match rating of 71. Next up, we've got Sean Meyer, who picked up 23 goals and assists in 30 games. Next, we've got Benjamin Van Dijk, our new signing from the offseason, who picked up 23 goals, 5 assists, with an average match rating of 73. And last but not least, Jackson Wagner comes in as our last nominee as he picked up 14 goal involvements in 32 games. The winner of this award should come as no surprise. And your Attacker of the Year is Benji Van Dijk. Give it up for the Dutchman. What a season he had. He got off to a slow start, but once he got rolling, he couldn't stop scoring. And hopefully next season he can come back from his broken ankle and pick up where he left off. Our next award is Clutch Player of the Year. This award is purely subjective and not based off any kind of stats. It's mostly based off moments and who pulled off the most clutch moments this season. Last year there weren't really any nominees as Sean Meyer took it home, but this year we had a couple of players step up in crucial moments. The nominees for this award are Adario Campos, and his moment came in the penalty shootout against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup earlier this season, where he not only saved multiple penalties but also scored the game-winning penalty in off the post at the end of the shootout. Our next nominee is another goalkeeper, and it's our starting goalkeeper, Enrique Castellón-Davis. While he had a slight step down from his season last year, he still came up with plenty of clutch moments throughout the season, saving us numerous times. Next up, we've got super sub Sean Meyer. He came up big multiple times this season, scoring game-winning goals and even filling in for Benji Van Dijk in the last game of the season, where he picked up a Man of the Match award without even scoring a goal. And last but not least, we've got Thomas Reynolds, the engine of our midfield. His moments came against Fulham, where he scored 2 goals to see us power past the London team in the Carabao Cup, and he also scored the equalizer against Manchester City in the FA Cup. This was a tough award to hand out, but I am going to go ahead and give it to Thomas Reynolds. Those moments against Fulham and Man City, even though we didn't go on to win any trophies this season, were absolutely huge, and Thomas Reynolds has fully cemented himself as a big game player. And now it's time to reveal your team of the season. Kicking things off in goal, Enrique Castellón-Davis is your goalkeeper of the year. He made 42 appearances in the league, picked up 1 assist, 8 clean sheets, and a 68 average match rating. Our center back pairing is Ben Lindsay, Defender of the Year, and Luca Balaver. Ben Lindsay made 34 appearances in the league, 3 assists, 6 clean sheets, and a 68 average match rating. Luca Balaver only finished the season with 22 appearances, but he scored 2 goals, picked up 5 clean sheets, and achieved an average match rating of 66. Our 2 fullbacks are Luke Cox and Larry Jones III. Luke Cox made 30 appearances, picking up 2 assists, 5 clean sheets, and an average match rating of 67, while Jones III made 39 appearances, scored 1 goal, 4 assists, and 3 clean sheets while picking up an average match rating of 65. Jones III also made the most appearances in the outfield. Moving on to midfield, Maxim Kaczynski finds his way into the team of the year, making it in over Eric Escamilla and Thomas Reynolds. He made 21 appearances this season, but had 3 goals and 5 assists with an average match rating of 66. Luis Adame made 35 appearances, scored 8 goals, picked up 6 assists, and finished the season with a 70 overall match rating. Our wingers are Jackson Wagner and Ruben Phillips. Jackson Wagner made 32 appearances, picked up 6 goals and 8 assists, and had an average match rating of 69, while Ruben Phillips had 38 appearances, 9 goals, 4 assists, and a 71 average match rating. And our 2 strikers are Sean Meyer and Benji Van Dijk. Sean Meyer made 30 appearances, picked up 13 goals and 10 assists with an average match rating of 73. And Benjamin Van Dijk made 34 appearances, scored 23 goals, 5 assists, and also had an average match rating of 73. Some honorable mentions for the team of the season are Hector Limon, who only made 15 appearances in the league, but somehow picked up 2 goals and 5 assists and had an average match rating of 73. Thomas Reynolds is also an honorable mention as he made the most appearances in the entire side with 44, picked up a goal and 2 assists, and 7 clean sheets from CDM with an average match rating of 66. Eric Escamilla is our final honorable mention as he made 32 appearances, picked up 3 assists, 7 clean sheets as well, and an average match rating of 65. If it wasn't for the red card he picked up prior to the last game of the season, he might have made it in here over Maxim Kaczynski. And this is your team of the year for the 2nd season in the career mode. Now, let's move on to the nominees for goal of the season. And we are going to start off with some honorable mentions from earlier this season. Starting off with Benji Van Dijk's first goal for the club come against Rotherham. He picks up the ball from Max Kaczynski, hits his defender with a nice skill move, and slots it past the goalkeeper. It was a great way to announce himself to the Cavalier faithful, and he went on to score 28 goals this season. Get in, Benji. What a move that was. What a great bit of skill from the big Dutchman. Moving on, we've got another Benji Van Dijk goal, this time coming against Wigan, and just, wow, what a finish. Just a great cross from Miles, and Benji Van Dijk with that striker's instinct just gets a toe on the ball and somehow squeezes it in the top right corner. The goalkeeper did not have a chance. Did not have a chance. It's not the craziest goal ever, but just the ingenuity to just poke at the ball like that and get it inside the top right hand corner. Just brilliance from the Dutchman. He was top scorer for a reason. Next up, we've got Jackson Wagner's goal against Oxford City. And he just hits it first time off the pass from Hector. I still remember that I was trying to fake shot this shot. Like, he wasn't supposed to shoot that, but I guess he has a mind of his own and he just hits that with his weaker left foot off the first time and it just loops in past the goalkeeper. Great pass from Hector and Jackson just hits it first time. He has a bit of a look at the keeper and says, "That one's all me." And next up, we have our consolation goal against Manchester City. In another timeline, we actually go on to win this game. If we don't have those 2 mistakes from Enrique, we beat Manchester City and progress in the FA Cup. Unfortunately, we did get knocked out, but Sean Meyer did help to raise the energy in this stadium as he gave us a bit of a lifeline in the last seconds of the game. Just a great goal, quick snapshot. Good goal, Sean. And next up, we've got our last goal of the season come against Bristol Rovers. Off a great team play, Luke Cox is patient, he waits for Dean Guile on the edge of the box, and he just bangs it in. He scored an identical goal to that earlier this season, but this one really resonated with the fans as it was our last goal of the season and really kicked off the celebrations as we got promoted to the championship. Get in, Dean Guile. Definitely gonna have to get him some more game time next season as that was a beauty of a strike. And he's got a couple of those in his locker. One touch, bang. And our last honorable mention comes against Lincoln. Dean Guile passes to Benji, and Benji pulls out the cheeky little chip and finds the back of the net. Just a great play from our fringe midfielder into our star striker, and he does the rest. He's got every finish in his locker, every kind of finish. He can take on his man, he can beat him for strength, he can beat him for pace, and he can also pull out the skills when they're required. What a chip with his weaker right foot. I'm convinced he doesn't have a weak foot, man. What a goal. And now, here are our 4 official nominees for goal of the season. Starting with our first game of the season and our first goal of the season, we've got Luis Adame against Rotherham. What a strike. I'm pretty sure that was one of our only long-range goals of the season, and what a goal it was. He loves hitting the ball from that semicircle right outside the 18-yard box. He gets a nice ball off a fancy flip from Sean, and he finds the top left corner. What a player Luis is going to be. I'm going to try to hold on to him for as long as possible, but if he keeps playing the way he did this season, it's going to be harder and harder to keep him at Royalist Park. Next up, we've got a goal against Barrow in the Carabao Cup, this time coming from Maxim Kaczynski. And when he picks up the ball from Jackson Wagner, I want you guys to really look at what he does. This doesn't look like the craziest goal. It is outside the box, but it doesn't look like the craziest goal, but look at what he does before he volleys it. Off the pass, he pops it up. I don't think it hits the ground, so that's a pure volley. He pops it up and smacks it, fires it past the goalkeeper. Just what a goal, Max. Our third nomination comes from Thomas Reynolds' goal against Fulham in the Carabao Cup. A great ball from Sean, traps it off his thigh, and fires it past their keeper Bono. What a goal this was from Thomas Reynolds, a rare goal from our CDM. If I can remember correctly, he scored 2 goals this game to give us the win over Fulham. He was really integral in all 3 of our cup runs, and he is a big part of this team. He may not have made team of the season this year, but he got the honorable mention for a reason. He played the most games in the outfield, and he came up big against Fulham. Our last nomination is probably one of my favorite goals I scored this entire season. Just a crazy flick. I was just holding L2 trying to see what animation I would get, and that's the one Benji Van Dijk pulls out of the bag. He doesn't even have the flare trait. He just decided to do that. I don't even think I've seen someone score a goal like that in real life. Just look at this. That's nuts. Nuts. Insane goal. He was golden boot for a reason. The goalkeeper had no clue. I don't think anyone else on the pitch had a clue. What a goal. That was probably my favorite Benji Van Dijk goal of the season. But those are going to be your 4 submissions. You can vote for which one you think should win goal of the season on the poll on my channel page. The poll should be live as you're watching this, so go ahead and vote for your goal of the season. Now, time to get into the final award of the show. Throughout our season in League One, there were a number of standout performers in our squad, but we could only choose 4 nominees for Player of the Season. And our first nominee is going to be our captain, center back Ben Lindsay. The 28-year-old made 34 appearances in the league this season, picked up 3 assists, 6 clean sheets, and an average match rating of 68. While that average match rating is the lowest out of the 4 nominees, he was an absolute rock at the back and one of the only consistent performers in our backline the entire season. Whenever he didn't play, we conceded a lot of goals, and he is a crucial part of our team. Our second nominee is Luis Adame, who did well to step into that 10 position ever since we sold Adam Morgan. And even before we sold Morgan, he was putting in great shifts in that box-to-box / number 8 role in the midfield. But ever since he took that number 10 spot, he didn't let go, and he picked up 14 goal and assists this season, along with a 70 overall match rating. Our next nominee is fan favorite Sean Meyer, who also picked up 2 player of the episodes this season, along with his 23 goal and assists in only 30 appearances. While he may have lost his starting striker spot to the next nominee in the second half of the season, he still had a wonderful season and finished the year with a 73 average match rating, tying him with Hector and Benji Van Dijk. And last, but certainly not least, our last nominee for player of the season is Benji Van Dijk, our marquee signing from this past summer from Ajax, who picked up 23 goals and 5 assists in his first campaign at Severnvale United. That's 28 goal involvement in only 34 games. He also had a 73 average match rating and really carried us this season with his goals and overall play. Those are our 4 nominees for player of the season. You can vote for which one you think deserves the title via the poll on my page. That's going to do it for our end of the season award show. Congratulations to all of the players who won an award, and for those who didn't, better luck next season. And speaking of next season, let's have a look ahead at our campaign next year in the EFL Championship. And starting with our youth academy, these are the prospects that we currently have on our books. Felix Segura is currently the same rating as Adario Campos, so he might be knocking on the door to become our 3rd choice goalkeeper. We've got a decent amount of defenders in here, with Jackson Jacobs being our left back, Douglas Court getting better and better every day, and we've got Daniel Gaba, 64 rated at 17 years old, can play left center back, hoping he gets a little bit taller, but he looks like a great player. We've got Musa Diallo, Scott Brown, Jean Oots Dan looks decent. We got Michael Price being trained into a left midfielder. Harry Wynn, got a couple years until he looks good enough. Got Bryn Lloyd, Roy Watson still here, hoping he jumps up to a 60 overall soon. And last but not least, we've got Lloyd Richards, a 60 overall striker at 16 years old. Let me know which youth academy players you think deserve a call up to the first team. Our transfer budget for next season is currently at $8 million, and that's without making any sales. With that in mind, let's have a look at some of my transfer targets for the upcoming season. Now, we do currently have 2 left backs in the squad in Luke Cox and Kirk Ferguson, but Kirk Ferguson is only about 65 rated, and I would like for Luke Cox to have a bit more competition on that left-hand side, and Alex Ferreira looks like an absolute beast. Brazilian, 4-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, 80 pace. He's quick as hell, great tackling stats, decent crossing. He looks like a great player playing out of Argentina, it looks like. He's 19, only $3.6 million. The wages aren't crazy. He would be a great signing. And my second choice for that left back spot is Haidar Ali from VfL Bochum in Germany. He's got 3-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, decent pace as well. He's got jockey playstyle, and he would only cost $2.2 million, but he's also got a release clause of 5.2. Somehow he's on more wages than Ferreira, but I think we could probably talk him down. I would love to go after Danny Ramirez. I think this is Jordi Alba's regen. He plays for Houston Dynamo FC in the MLS, but he's currently valued way more than our budget, and he might be a player we might target once we make it to the Premier League. There's also Pablo Navarrete down here, who I didn't see before. He's worth $2.6 million. That's much less than Ferreira. He's about 1 rating less, pacey, got good crossings. He might be my actual second choice. So Alex Ferreira and Pablo Navarrete are my two top choices for our left back position should we target this position in the offseason. The next position that I felt was of need is our box-to-box center midfield position. As Luis Adame is now our full-time number 10, Maxim Kaczynski and Dean Gao are the only players in the squad who can play that position, and considering Dean Gao's rating may not be up to par with other starting center mids around the league and Maxim Kaczynski slowly growing but still not where I want him to be, we could go on and sign another box-to-box midfielder to fill in some of those minutes and give some competition to those two players. And the players that I'm looking at are Andre Barros from Arouca, who we played in preseason last season. He's 19 years old, 3.2 market value, decent pace, can play box to box, that's his preferred position in the midfield. Great physicals, would absolutely boss the championship as it's a very physical league. Decent technicals for the midfield position, and he's got the relentless playstyle, which I absolutely need in a box to box midfielder. And next up, we've got Milivojevic from Serbia, 3-star. Not sure what team he plays for, but he's got decent pace, good dribbling, good passing, and decent shooting. He looks like a great all-around player. His wages are a lot higher than Barros's, but he's got a 3.7 market value, which isn't much higher than Barros, which isn't much higher than our other targets. He is slightly better, and he's got one more playstyle. He's got great technicals, 72 dribbling, 79 short pass, 63 free kick accuracy, 68 long shots. I like to see that in my midfield. And his physicals aren't nothing to scoff at either. And last but not least, I want to target the left mid spot as Azaria Kacha is most likely going to get sold. We'll see if we get some offers for him. I'm not going to transfer list him, but I feel like someone may come in for him. And Jackson Wagner would be our only left mid in the team. I really like the look of Mustafa Abdul Rahman. He's been on the shortlist for about a year now, and he's getting better and better every year. He's a 69 at 17 years old, playing for Konyaspor in Turkey. He's got 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves, pacey as hell, and his technicals are pretty well rounded for a winger. My next two targets are Massimo Ricci from Sassuolo. His technicals aren't the greatest, but he is a really good dribbler, and he's got decent pace. And last but not least, we've got Arvid Henriksen playing for Real Salt Lake in the MLS. 3-star, no play styles, but he's got decent pace, and his physicals are okay. They're not the greatest, but they're not the worst either. And those are going to be all of my transfer targets for the next season. Let me know down in the comments who you think we should sign. And that's going to do it for the end of Severn Vale United's second season. The boys are now going to enjoy their vacations before they come back to the club and get ready for a tough campaign in the championship. I've been LDJ. This is the Severn Vale United Career Mode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.